of Korea. This is Voice of Korea.
Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Here is Mr. Paris, son of General Kim Il-sung. prisoner meal, Karus, son of General Kim Jung-il.
enlarged meeting of the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea was held under the guidance of respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, Chairman of the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army. Present at the enlarged meeting were members of the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea, members of the Executive Committee of the Party Committee of the Korean People's Army, and commanding officers of the services and corps level units of the Army. The enlarged meeting of the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea discussed issues arising in further strengthening and developing the Korean People's Army into a powerful revolutionary army of Mountbatten, intimately loyal to the party and the leader, the fatherland and the people, as well as an organizational issue. Respected Kim Jong-un set forth important tasks and ways to further strengthen and develop the Korean People's Army. He said, to more formally prepare the Korean People's Army politically and ideologically and in military technique is a demand of the times and the developing revolution, and the fundamental guarantee for vigorously advancing our revolution. If our army is to defend the proud history and traditions as an army of the party, win early victory in the war of confrontation with the United States, and fully perform its mission as a shock brigade and standard bearer in the building of a prosperous nation, the functional role of the political organs of the People's Army should be further enhanced. Respected Kim Jong-un said the political organs of the People's Army should do the political work in a fresh and positive way so that the military affairs could be done successfully in accordance with the intention of the party. He emphasized that, in particular, the political work of the party should be oriented to the completion of combat preparedness so that all the units and subunits can make training a rule and inveterate habit under the slogan of the party on giving priority to the training in order to make the hot wind of Mountbatten-style training like lava in the whole army. Respected Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, guided a gunning practice of a long-distance artillery subunit assigned the task of striking major enemy's objects on the West and South Seas on the occasion of the 82nd anniversary of the heroic Korean People's Army. He was accompanied by members of the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea, members of the Executive Committee of the Party Committee of the Korean People's Army, and commanding officers of the services and corps-level units. He heard with satisfaction the report that the commanding officers and men of the long-distance artillery subunit are full of confidence to make a good hit, though they would conduct gunning in a strange area after making a long-distance march upon an order unmoving all of a sudden. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un fixed the firing order and method and gave an order to start gunning. The moment, the 50 artillery pieces began to fire all at once. The correct and merciless strike broke the targets to pieces, and the theater was turned into a sea of flames clouded with powder smoke, which was shown on the screen display of the commanding post. Whenever the shells hit the targets, Kim Jong-un expressed great satisfaction, saying it is a bullseye strike and it is really a good hit. Seeing the artillerymen in high spirits, he, with a bright smile on his face, said, "They are praiseworthy. The subunit which had been involved in the battle of firing strike on the West and South Seas is different from others as well. I am really pleased to see the artillerymen good at gunning." He also said the artillerymen could make a good hit even in the unfavorable situation, as they have conducted intensive trainings while thinking of the day of battle. He expressed great pleasure, saying, "Today's gunning practice was wonderful. The men of the long-distance artillery subunit set off the fireworks in celebration of the Army Day." He went on to say that on the Army Day, he recalls the glorious place covered by the Korean People's Army under the loving care of the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and that the Korean People's Army has been intensely loyal to the party and revolution and firmly defended the country and people while carrying forward the brilliant traditions of the anti-Japanese struggle since the day when the Korean People's Army was founded. He noted that the People's Army has shared the destiny only with the party and defended the precious social system with arms for tens of years, and added that it is a great pride of our party to have such a revolutionary army. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un said the artillerymen who have grown to be crack shots as intended by the party have made a good hit in the gunning practice, and thus admirably decorated the significant Army Day. He highly appreciated their feats and had a picture taken with them. Respected Kim Jong-un received a gift from the Committee of the Organization of Railways Corporation. The gift for him was conveyed to an official concerned by Chairman Tadeusz Shozuda, head of the delegation of the committee that took part in the 29th meeting of General Directors of the organization. Revolutionary activities of respected Kim Jong-un were recently reported abroad. The China News Service, the Chinese Hong Kong Takunpao, Hong Kong Phoenix Satellite Television, Radio International, and Internet Home Pages People's Network, Guangming Network, Reference News Network, China Network, Northeast News Network, Northeast Network, and Jilin Network, the Russian Internet Press, the British newspaper Independent, and the Canadian newspaper National Post report the news of his visit to the Shandong International Children's Camp nearing completion. The Chinese Jilin newspaper carried the news that the first meeting of airpersons of the Korean People's Army was grandly held under the guidance of respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un. The Iranian newspaper Iran News carried the same news, as well as the news that he appreciates the performance given by the random band in honor of the participants in the first meeting of airpersons of the Korean People's Army, and had a photo session with the participants in the meeting. The Chinese Jilin newspaper, the Indian newspaper Times of India, and Bean News Television, the Vietnamese Internet News VN Express, and Chernsi, and the Bulgarian newspaper Dnevnik report the news that he visited the Kumsutan Palace of the Sun together with leading officials of the armed forces organs on the occasion of the Day of the Sun, the birthday of President Kim Il-sung. And the Nepalese newspaper Airplane ran the news that he watched men's football match between the Kalmegi and JB teams. The Chinese, Vietnamese, and Nepalese mass media carried photographs of respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. The Bangladeshi newspaper DPRK recently carried a full text of respect to Kim Jong-un's famous work, "Let us march forward dynamically towards final victory," holding high the banner of Songun. The British Association for the Study of Songun Policy and the British Group for the Study of the Treaty Idea recently made public a joint statement on the occasion of the second anniversary of the publication of the famous work of respect to Kim Jong-un, "Let us brilliantly accomplish the revolutionary cause of treaty," holding Kim Jong-il in high esteem as the current General Secretary of our party. The statement said that in the work, respect to Marshal Kim Jong-un clearly illustrated great Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, the eternal guiding idea of the Korean Revolution. The statement called on all the treaty idea and Songun idea followers of the world to study the famous work more profoundly. Meetings were held at the Bangladeshi Association for the Study of the Treaty Idea and Songun Policy, named after the February 16th, the Poland Korea Association and the Democratic Congo Korea Friends and Solidarity Association, in congratulation of the Day of the Sun and the re-election of respected Kim Jong-un as first chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK. Congratulatory messages to respected Kim Jong-un were adopted at the meetings held in Belarus and the Democratic Congo. In the meantime, a remembrance meeting was held in Brazzaville of the Congo, a meeting and DPRK book exhibition in Goiânia City, Goiás State of Brazil, and the opening ceremony of the DPRK book, photo and handbook exhibition in Santos City, São Paulo State of Brazil, on the occasion of the Day of the Sun. Russian newspapers carried special articles of different titles on the occasion of the Day of the Sun, illustrated with smiling portraits of the great President Kim Il-sung, photographs of his revolutionary activities, his photographs taken with the great Kim Jong-il, and photographs of respected Kim Jong-un. Komsomolskaya Pravda, Pravda Primoria, Moskovsky Komsomoletsy, Priam Ruskie Vedomosti, Nizegorodskaya Pravda, Nash Dom Sochi, and Nautinsky Rabochi carried articles of different titles, including Political Idea of President Kim Il-sung and Eternal Sun, praising the sacred revolutionary life and immortal exploits of great President Kim Il-sung. DPRK wrestler Chung In-sun took the first place at the 2014 Asian Wrestling Championship underway in Astana of Kazakhstan from April 23rd. The championship is attended by more than 200 excellent male and female wrestlers from 16 countries and regions. In the championship, Chung In-sun overpowered all her rivals at the women's wrestling 55kg event and won a gold medal. Kang Jin-hyuk won a silver medal at the men's freestyle 65kg event, and Han Gu-mok and Kim Ran-mi bagged gold medals respectively at the women's wrestling 58kg and 63kg events. More than 300 archers from over 40 countries and regions are taking part in the World Cup Archery Games first phase, which opened in Shanghai of China on the 22nd. On the 25th, the DPRK archers defeated the American team 3-4 at the first stage match of circle archery of the women's team tournament. The DPRK team also overpowered the Ukrainian team 6-2 at the quarterfinals. The Musangyong Mineral Water Factory has been built in Buryong County, North Hamgyong Province. The Musangyong spring water wells out of the ground hundreds of meters deep at the hillside of the Musan Pass. The mineral water of good quality contains different kinds of minerals, so it is especially efficacious for digestion and against hypertension and urinary diseases. The taste and elements of the spring water remain unchanged if it is kept for a long time. The new mineral water factory has a good water production process, fully equipped with filtering and sterilizing devices and packing process. Foreign guests participating in the 29th meeting of General Directors of the Organization of Railways Cooperation visited Nanjongdo, the birthplace of President Kim Il-sung. They also visited the Victorious Fatherland Liberation War Museum. The spokesman for the Committee for the Peaceful Reunification of Korea issued a statement on the 27th. The statement said U.S. President Obama visited South Korea between the 25th and 26th and continued, "Now that the whole of South Korea is the house of mourning because of the great disasters caused by the sinking of a passenger ship, Obama's visit to South Korea would have been put up or shelved if his ethics and morality even a little. But merely from the purpose of the anti-DPRK conspiratorial nexus, the master and the stooge intolerably insulted, threatened and blackmailed us through the criminal visit in disregard of the sorrow of the South Korean people. At summit talks and joint press conference, Park Geun-hye met Obama and let loose a string of malignant remarks, inciting all sycophantic and treacherous acts and confrontation with fellow countrymen, while viciously slandering our nukes, laying of simultaneous building of economy and nuclear force, dignity and system. Worse still, she said Obama's visit to Seoul would be a resolute message not to pardon the North's provocation and preposterously ask the neighboring country to take stronger measures against the North. The recent outbursts are a serious challenge to our advice and warning and those of the whole nation. They are as good as a declaration of a war for total confrontation between the North and the South. Some of the despicable acts, Park Geun-hye answered our question with war, the question asking whether it is a peaceful reunification based on inter-Korean reconciliation or a war by institutional confrontation. She also nakedly revealed that her confidence-building process is the confrontation policy, which is the same with that of traitor Ri Myung-bak. She declared all over the world that she would confront us to the end and bring the situation to catastrophe, taking no account of the improvement of inter-Korean relations even a little. The result of the recent visit to South Korea by Obama proves that our judgment and determination were quite right, that we should fight against our sworn enemy, the United States, only with strength, and there is only the final settlement by a total nuclear confrontation war, and only makes firmer our relent decision that we should continue to take the road chosen and clarified by us. Park Geun-hye will pay dearly for what she has swerved from the opportunity given by us this time and taken the road against reunification and peace and the road of confrontation and war. We will never pardon anyone who dares to challenge our dignity, system, and line of simultaneous building of economy and nuclear force, the statement stressed. The Solidarity for Progress of South Korea issued a statement on the 21st, announcing the U.S. President for his visit to South Korea. The statement said the U.S. President's visit to South Korea is aimed at making South Korea recognize Japan's plan to connect its self-defense and demanding conclusion of a military agreement between South Korea and Japan and raise of the share of expense for the upkeep of the U.S. forces. It is an insolent act that he visits South Korea to force all sorts of demands when the people are in sorrow because of the sunken passengership, the statement condemned. If the government ignores the people's opposition and accepts the demands of the United States, it will face an all-people resistance, the statement said, and stressed that the practical action will start to denounce the U.S. President for his visit to South Korea. The All-People Measure Committee protecting the crackdown of Plaza Mingo and the People's Solidarity for Abrogation of the National Security Law in South Korea at a press conference in Incheon on April 23rd, announcing the South Korean verdict for the attempt to ban internet newspaper Plaza Mingo. At the press conference, the above-said organizations referred to the fact that the Seoul city authorities, instigated by the government, the Samurai Party, and the conservative forces, raised an administrative litigation demanding the Incheon District Court ban the Plaza Mingo on the charge of the violation of the national security law. They warned that the barbaric, tyrannical act, little different from that of the Yusin dictatorship, will be denounced by the world's humanity. The Maritime Territorial Committee of the Communist Party of the Russian Federation and the Merit Baptist Czech Korean French Association issued a statement on the 19th and the 20th, denouncing the Japanese authorities for their suppression of the General Association of Korean Residents in Japan. The statement said the world is greatly surprised at the criminal decision of the Tokyo District Court on selling the land and building of the Korean Hall of the General Association of Korean Residents in Japan. They noted that through the recent decision, the Japanese authorities revealed their ambition to ignore the aspirations of the world people and the reality and revive militarism. And that's the end of the news read by Chesung Nam. This is Voice of Korea. The daily Rodong Shinmun of the DPRK carried a commentary on Sunday under the title, do they have a face to talk about other human rights issues? The commentary said, these days, the chief executive and high-ranking personages of the United States are circulating the rumor that somebody has the most serious human rights issue and mobilize even their followers to kick up a hysterical frenzy. They are also making preposterous remarks that the world should make efforts to solve the issue, and they must pay assistance for protection of human rights. Now, under the signboard of protection of human rights, the United States is engrossed in sanctions and interference in internal affairs of sovereign states and killing innocent civilians without hesitation. As to the real human rights issue, it is first of all necessary to question the reactionary nature and danger of the U.S. talk about human rights, which makes the world unstable. Historically, the U.S. talk about human rights has always been a lever for interference in internal affairs of other countries and overthrow of their systems and a prelude to a war of aggression. The United States is talking about human rights too often in a bid to justify its interference in internal affairs and armed invasion of other countries. The main target of the U.S. human rights offensive is anti-imperialist independent countries and those countries trying to get rid of stability to the United States. Especially, the U.S. human rights offensive against the DPRK is unprecedented in its obstinity, viciousness, and persistence. The further the United States intensifies its moves to isolate and suffocate the DPRK under the pretext of human rights issue, the more thoroughly we will tackle them by more firmly consolidating our self-reliant defense capabilities. That was the commentary under the title, Do They Have a Face to Talk About Other Human Rights Issue? Carried in the daily Rodong Sinmun of the DPRK on Sunday. This is Voice of Korea.
불경기 미일 버릇 휴엔 증오의 빛 Now you will enjoy male instrumental music for piano. The native home with the snow flats. female chorus sung loud in my country.
울려 퍼지는 주님 노래 위에 버티시는 가는 고마워 신으로 부르는 하나님 서 이 땅 끝까지 끝이 없어라 주님 노래 서서 찾아 일도 찾아가시는 길에 그의 안녕을 바라는 주의 노래
The violin ensemble. Joyful is my mind. dance music, pride of youth. Developed arms and equipment of Goguryeo. Goguryeo was the first feudal state that existed in the Korean history between 277 BC and AD 668. Goguryeo, known as a powerful country with 1,000 years of history in the east, had great military might at that time. It was at the time in the history of the Korean people that importance was attached to the military affairs, and martial art and physical strength were trained regularly. From the beginning of its foundation, Goguryeo built up strong defense facilities across the country and strengthened military capabilities. Especially, main efforts were directed to developing arms and equipment, an important element of the military capabilities. Iron handicraft developed in Goguryeo. Iron was widely used in making weapons and equipment. Taboli held an important proportion in the military capabilities of Goguryeo. Kim Kwang-jo, researcher of the History Institute of the Academy of Social Sciences, has this to say.
고구려 시기 북한 무덤들인 고구랑 문과 정비동 무덤들은 잡으실 시험 마루탄 분석하는 모습이 그려졌습니다. 인용문은 성국하고
Warriors on armored horses were drawn on the walls of the tomb of King Kogugwon and twin-pillared tomb, mural tombs of Koguryo dynasty. The words 5,000-strong ironclad cavalry are found in the ancient book, The Chronicles of Three Kingdoms. It means a large unit of armed cavalry, which shows well the might of Koguryo warriors who displayed their valor at battles against invaders. Especially the fact that not only cavalrymen but also military horses were clad in iron armors proves that armors were very highly developed at that time.
Arms and equipment of Koguryo included shooting weapons to hit the enemy in the distance. Among them were a bow called Sunbo-no, whose arrow range exceeded 1,000 feet, and an arrow with a small reach. There were also firearms called Sunjun-no and Pal-una. Sunjun-no, which weighed nearly 18 tons, and Pal-una, which were the power equivalent to the strength of 8 oxen, were very developed weapons at the time. The developed arms and equipment of Koguryo are proud heritages associated with the trade talents of the Korean nation. You've been listening to an accounting title, Developed Arms and Equipment of Koguryo. This is Voice of Korea.
With this, we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South Americas between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and 15,180 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.